All right. This pressure.
Go.
All right. Welcome to my girlfriend's favorite wrestling podcast. We are your hosts.
I'm Sam Cardona.
And I'm Tavaris Smith.
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Here we are.
We are recording live from Sunset Boulevard in glitz and glamorous Hollywood, California.
I think, usually people say sunny Los Angeles, but it is not sunny.
It's, I mean, kind of, yeah, it's kind of, it's weird doing this without our cat.
I know. We tried one episode with our cat, but she
turned heel on us and
destroyed a lot of equipment.
A lot of equipment was lost. But yeah, we're here. How you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah.
You excited?
I'm excited. You want to explain what this podcast is?
Yeah. So we talk about wrestling from 2 points of views. So Tavaris is a lifelong wrestling fan.
Facts.
And I am his girlfriend.
Yes.
Who at first watched reluctantly, but now I'm very interested. So a fan, but not like one that knows all the ins and outs of the history of WWE, but still a fan. And we were in Philly for WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
Met some cool people. And honestly, I felt very part of the community. I was like name dropping some knowledge about female wrestlers.
Well, let's get into that. So we visited a store in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. This is not an ad, but it's called Suplex Vintage Wrestling.
Very, very cool store.
It was amazing, and they have like old action figures and all of the belts that have like ever existed, like
the chairs
from
really
premium
cool.
Live events and pay-per-views.
Yeah.
T-shirts from decades past. And yeah, tell me about your experience there.
Well, it was very cool because obviously everyone there was a wrestling fan. I assume everyone that goes there during the year is a wrestling fan, mm-hmm. but particularly during WrestleMania weekend, it was just dope. People were just very, very excited.
Yeah.
And we did go to WrestleMania last year in LA, where we live, and it was so cool. My first live wrestling experience. I know not your first, but yeah, I was telling you the other day that I sort of equate it to, as a woman who's been to a lot of live events, sometimes you get into crowds where people are like rowdy and assholes and drunk all the time, and this was not that.
Yeah.
Everyone's so excited to be there, like really nerding out in the best way about wrestling. And I don't know if this is a comparison that people will hate, but it very much reminded me of the Taylor Swift and Beyonce concerts that I went to. Because people are just excited. I don't know. And like, especially like going to a sports event, like at a sporting event, everyone's an asshole. Like even if your team is winning, people like are jerks and they're rude. And at WrestleMania, people are just so excited. Like last year, you were dressed as Mick Foley, and people were just
Cactus Jack.
Sorry,
Yes.
See, I'm
it's okay.
not the biggest fan.
Honest mistake.
I am a fan, but don't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
And people were like stopping you to take photos of your outfit and stuff like that, and that's exactly what people did at the Beyonce concert.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because I've gone to a lot of sporting events, and most notably, the last, I think we went to a hockey game. We went to a Kings game.
We did.
And I can't remember if it was either Kings or Clippers. I don't know. It was one of these times. And some guy on the team did something that wasn't to this particular crowd member's liking, and he yelled out, "You probably voted for Joe Biden." And I was
at the Kings game. That was at the hockey game.
It's like such a weird and specific insult.
Yeah.
But that shit had me dying. But yeah, I agree with just the camaraderie amongst wrestling fans. Like I was so proud as a boyfriend when you were in the Suplex Vintage Wrestling store. Mm-hmm. One of the workers came. He was like, "Are you current? Are you like up to date with everything?" And you just started like spouting off all this like currency. You're like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
because he's like, are you looking for anything? And I'm like, I'm looking for any female wrestling like paraphernalia.
Yeah.
I want like I really wanted some Sasha Banks stuff, even though I know she's not in
know.
WWE anymore. And he was like, yeah. But something that he said that was really cool, he's like, all of the stuff that we get that's female wrestler related goes really quickly. Like that sells the quickest.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which like feels really dope.
That's
because,
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what he told me, which was very cool.
I feel like the women's merch, because they're like outfits and stuff, one, they change their outfits like every time,
All
whereas
the time.
dudes don't.
They don't.
And there's like more color involved, obviously, so
Right.
you can like play a little bit more with different designs and color schemes and stuff. The only person who really changes their get up is John Cena, wears like a different color T-shirt of the rainbow.
But always jorts.
Always, yeah, or cargo shorts. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
so overall, would you say that your experience in Philly or LA was better as far as like the vibes?
I think, and not to shit on LA, the city that we live in, but Philly was more the vibes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, because it also, and like LA is obviously a bigger city, but during the weekend, like we didn't see any wrestling fans out anywhere that I remember.
Right.
Like when we were just, not at WrestleMania,
Right.
but everywhere we went in Philly,
Oh yeah.
there were people wearing like WWE merch, talking about it, like all of that stuff. Like I
Yeah.
was saying, we went to,
What was that, like Skyscraper Bar?
it was like Skyscraper Bar at the Four Seasons, I think,
Four
right?
Seasons,
Like
yes.
one of the
We didn't stay there
fanciest-
though. Don't think that we got money.
didn't.
Like that.
We're not
We
that
was
rich.
visiting. We was.
but it
literally-
was dope. But
Yeah.
yeah, like one of the most expensive bars in Philly, and
Yeah.
the entire bar was wrestling fans.
Yeah, even the bartender that was talking to the couple next to us was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I hope Cody Rhodes finishes his story." I'm like, "Dang, like it's really Philly's like one of the biggest wrestling towns in the country. It's like Philly, Chicago, and I guess LA, but like
It doesn't feel
LA
like
is
LA's
so big, so it's
Right.
like it's hard to
gauge.
yeah.
Well, okay. Do you want to talk about, since we're in episode 1, your history of being a wrestling
yeah.
fan?
Well,
Where
yeah.
did it start? Take us back.
I'll take you back. So, obviously, when I was a youngin', like super young, me and my older brother, we had the I forget what they're called, but they're like pillow figures of like, it was like I had Hulk Hogan and my brother was a big Ultimate Warrior fan, and so it was these like pillows. You can't see me because it's audio, but like basically they were just like the
Were they,
size
like,
of a
life
pillow.
size?
No, they were the size of a pillow, but they were like in the shape of a wrestler, very square. Like it wasn't like an exact shape.
Do they still have them?
They had them at the store in Philly.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and so we would do moves on those and like have tag matches and then like stuff like that. But and then I would watch on TV, and I was like big into like Hulk Hogan and like Ultimate Warrior and all these people. And my brother was really obsessed with Lex Luger, who was this like,
I don't know who that
basically his gimmick was like a bodybuilder,
Okay.
and that was it.
That feels like a lot of
No.
gimmicks.
His gimmick was like, no, like I'm swole.
Okay.
Like that was it. You know what I'm saying? That was his whole character.
No character besides that.
Yeah, he was not great. No disrespect. He wasn't great at wrestling. But and then there was a long time in my childhood where I just wasn't watching. And then what got me back into it was I watched the one of the first episodes of SmackDown. It was The Rock versus Triple H for the championship, and Shawn Michaels was a special guest referee. And I remember just seeing The Rock, and he was so cool. And like I was
so
like,
cool.
he's
He's
got a
so
weird
pretty
hairline, but he was so cool. Like I almost got my hair cut like The Rock with the little, what I didn't realize was a receding hairline at the time. I thought that he just wore his hair like that. But yeah, so they were fighting, and then Shawn Michaels kicked The Rock in the face while he was trying to do the people's elbow, and everybody was shocked. Triple H won. And then after that, I was like hooked until like 2003, 2004, like after The Rock and Stone Cold retired or like went away for a while. And then what brought me back was when The Rock came back in 2011, because him and John Cena was beefing, and John Cena was talking that shit, and I ain't like all that. And then The Rock came back with his goatee, and then they ended up fighting at that WrestleMania, and then I've kind of just been tapped in ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep cuts.
Deep cuts, yeah.
Because almost every night you're like, oh, let's watch this one match from SummerSlam 2002. And you fast forward to the exact moment, like you know the timestamp.
Yeah, it's an issue, but
no, it's great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, how did you get into it?
So I did not know before we started dating a cool 5.5 years ago.
Hey.
I did not know much about wrestling other than like The Rock, Hulk Hogan, John Cena. I didn't even know who Triple H was. Had no idea who that was. And then the only female wrestler I knew was Stacy Keibler because she dated George Clooney.
Yeah, legend Stacy Keibler.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
One of the best.
Yeah, but and then you told me you were a wrestling fan, and I was like, okay.
You almost caught the ick and shit.
A little bit. No, but then you showed me. I think what like really brought me in was like female wrestlers. They're so much more interesting to me, and I do feel like, because I feel like I had probably seen some like old school women's wrestling, but it was like a lot of bra and panty matches, and it wasn't. There was definitely some misogyny happening. Not that it's completely free of misogyny now, but yeah, it was. And now, like, seeing women who were fucking ripped doing cooler shit than the men. Yeah. I think one of the first matches you showed me was Sasha and Bailey in
Takeover Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, yes. Right? Yeah, and that is obviously like one of the most epic matches of all time.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and so once we started really like watching it, and I remember the first WrestleMania we watched in my tiny studio apartment, and I was like, this is dope. And I actually think it was when Becky won WrestleMania, first female headlining WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
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 Which was so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just my general opinion is that now the women's wrestling is significantly more interesting than the men's wrestling.
Yeah.
Because women do cooler shit. Like, because they're not as big, they can like flip, they're more agile, they look cooler because, as I've said, the male wrestlers have two looks. They're either completely bald or they have long hair that they put grease in immediately before they step out into the ring. Like, immediately.
Yeah, that's fair.
And yeah, and they're, with the exception of Seth Rollins, who has some cool outfits.
Yeah.
But even like, it's just the walkout outfit. Like, by the time he's actually wrestling, it's usually just like pants.
Yeah.
And maybe a cool color.
Right.
But like, the women look cooler, they do cooler shit, their hair's always different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I also think that, at least up until recently, there's more character development amongst the women.
Absolutely.
Because they get less screen time just because there's less of them. So
there's still a lot of them though.
No, there is. Just not. There's not as many as there are men. You know what I'm saying? But they have to rely on their gimmicks more, whereas men kind of, like Brock Lesnar, for example, is just
hot take, the most boring wrestler alive. I don't care if people hate me for saying that.
No, people aren't gonna hate you for that.
Truly, like, well,
I can see why you think that for sure. Well,
I think that if they're gonna have somebody who barely talks, his character should be someone that doesn't talk at all.
But his mouthpiece for all his years was Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But I don't know. Roman Reigns speaks, and now Paul Heyman is his guy.
That's true.
Yeah, just.
That's fair.
Very uninteresting.
Yeah. Well, I was saying that he doesn't.
Suplex City. That's the one thing that he's brought to WWE.
Right. That's fair. His character is, like, what is his character exactly? He just, is a big dude.
Big white guy.
Yeah. And where, in contrast, like, a person like Sasha Banks she's the boss. She's
right. Well, even if you're going to compare him to another big male wrestler, like The Rock is so much character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like the burns he dishes out verbally.
Yeah.
It's all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a talker. He's entertaining. He hypes the crowd up. Brock Lesnar's like, I'm going to flex.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Well, yeah, his presence does the work that like The Rock's charisma does.
Right. And he's
But
kind of
it's-
too big. Like, I don't think I've seen him get to the top rope. Is he physically able to do that?
Well, so last time I saw him on the top rope, it was WrestleMania 20.
Okay.
We're going back in WWE time.
Yeah, what years?
WrestleMania 20, I forget what year that was, but he was fighting Kurt Angle for the title in the main event. And so he goes to the top rope, and this is like the big finish of the match. And I think I might have shown you this. He does like this forward flip. It's called a shooting star press. And he lands like on the top of his head. And so now he's like not completely the fuck out. Like everybody who watched it was like, if that were any...
He knocked himself out?
Well, yeah, he landed on his head.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, no. I'm just clarifying.
Okay, yeah, that's yeah. And so he was like in a daze, but he was booked to win, so he had to pull himself together. Like Kurt Angle was like talking to him, like, "Yo, are you good, bro?"
Yeah.
Like, and he hits his F5 and he wins, and like you can just see he's like eyes are glazed over. He's not like with it at all.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's been to the top rope since then. He's
Right.
like, fuck all that.
A woman would never.
I mean, yeah. Never not fall and knock herself out?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's fair. So, women's wrestling. So, right now, Becky Lynch, she is the new champion.
New women's champ. Much deserved.
Rhea Ripley is injured. Storyline, Liv Morgan did it. And then Liv Morgan fought Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch beat Liv Morgan.
Right, which is a good mashup in my opinion.
It's a great matchup. So you're probably not aware of this, but the internet is fucking pissed.
Why? They're more Liv Morgan than Becky?
Well, right now, what I think is that Becky Lynch is kind of assuming the role that Charlotte used to have, where like every time there was a title involved, somehow she would be in it and she would get it.
Okay.
And then Liv Morgan right now is assuming the role of what Becky Lynch used to be, always getting, overshadowed by the other people in the division, but also loved by the crowd.
Right.
Right now, what I think about Liv Morgan's character is that it's not quite developed enough
I agree.
to where people can emotionally invest in it long term.
Right.
Because that's what Becky was missing.
Right.
And then Becky slapped the shit out of Charlotte, and we
Right.
were like, okay, now she's the biggest star in the company.
Exactly.
So I think that Liv Morgan needs just that time to develop. There's nothing that she's not doing.
Right.
She's great, you know what I'm saying? But she definitely needs more time. The internet was like up in arms about Becky Lynch winning the title, but not realizing the long-term storytelling is what gets those big payoffs where
Right.
you're like watching WrestleMania and you're crying because Cody Rhodes
Right.
won the title after a 2-year story.
Right. Well, and I think that's like kind of what everybody sort of gets bored by people winning too much, right?
Right.
Like even
Taylor Swift, Beyonce. No, I'm just kidding.
Beyonce has never won Best Album, so
It's coming.
until that happens.
Yeah. She's won all the other ones.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I feel like that's just kind of the nature of it, right?
Yeah.
And that's how like new people emerge is they keep going against the champ, and then so I think she'll build it eventually. But I
Yeah.
think there's also a lot of cool new at WrestleMania when Jade, Bianca, and Naomi came out. Speaking of Beyonce, that was peak Renaissance
Oh yeah.
entrance. But I feel like the whole world is excited for Jade to come into WWE and kind of like make her own character.
Right.
Because she is like right now she's kind of got like this storm thing happening. She obviously looks like a fucking beast. She's strong as fuck. Her finishing move looks like a finishing move off Street Fighter.
Yes.
Where she like licks the air.
Yeah.
It's dope. But she doesn't have a huge character yet.
Right.
And Tiffany Stratton, UCLA Bruin,
Hey.
shout out, is so dope. Is very, very cool. And I like her because she kind of, not to stereotype women at all, I would never.
Okay.
But she is another like blonde wrestler, strong, like not petite, but not like very tall. Like Charlotte's really tall. She's, you know, like physically, as far as female wrestlers go, there wasn't anything that like stood out just from like seeing a picture of her.
Okay.
But then it's like former UCLA gymnast can get off that top rope and do a bunch of cool flips and do a bunch of cool shit. Like her skill is so there that I'm excited for both of them to see where they go.
Do you think that, as far as character development, who do you think is further along in it? Do you think it's Tiffany Stratton or do you think Jade?
I think maybe Jade. Well, I think that the thing that Jade maybe has is that I don't think she's a heel, but she could be, you know?
Yeah.
I think I think she should be billed as that. I think she should eventually turn into a heel.
Yeah.
Because she just looks like she could, like, her resting face is not smiles and giggles.
Right.
Like how a lot of, I don't know, like how Bailey was when she was,
Right.
you know, a good guy.
Yeah.
But Tiffany could also be a heel. I don't know. I feel like Jade has like a little bit of the one up because she's sort of using this like Storm Halle Berry thing to her advantage and like dressing in silver and like, you know, doing that whole thing.
Yeah.
But as far as like attitude in the ring, I don't know. I haven't seen enough.
Okay.
So we'll see.
What is the it matchup that you want to see within the next year in the women's division?
I don't want to pit black women against each other, but I want to see Jade and Bianca. I want to see it just because like physically, like it is really cool to see people who are like, I don't know, like who are two people that aren't like the same height or the same build, you know? Like it's cool to see Seth Rollins go up against the big guys because he is like physically smaller and for him to like do tough shit. But like to see two women who are like just as ripped as each other, same height relatively, I think Jade's a little bit taller, like go at it is really like Liv Morgan is so small that like her against like Rhea Ripley or something is dope, but it's not.
It's a story that you've seen before.
It's a story that you've seen before.
Yeah.
And it's cool, like, yeah, it's just like cool to see what these like tough ass women can do against each other. You said Jade and Tiffany the other day, which I think would be equally dope.
Yeah. Well, I think that in order for this might be like a hot take, but in order for Bianca Belair versus Jade to work, one of them has to be pure fucking evil. Yeah. And the other one has to be like a good guy, but not like a, because they do this weird shit with good guy or like face champions. Once they become champion, they're like, I'm going to be a fighting champion and I'm fucking John Cena Jr. and all this stuff. And like, if you just keep them how they were when people loved them and not like, because they did the same thing with Bailey. Like the night after she won the title at WrestleMania, she comes out on Raw and she's like, I'm going to be a fighting champion and I'm giving the title shot to someone who deserves it. It's like, man, fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, have some edge, have some swag, behave like a real person would behave and not like a superhero in a comic book.
It would be dope if Bianca turned heel, I feel like.
I think she should have been heel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's so talented, like so talented.
Yes.
That even when, because if you're face champion too long, people will just naturally turn on you.
Right.
And there's been times that she's come out and there's been like boos in the crowd.
Yeah.
But she's so talented, but by like the end of the match, like
Nobody's
people are like
booing.
fully like, damn, she just hit a fucking triple axel quadruple moonsault off fucking vertical leap.
She
like
became an ice skater.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's not flips. Damn, I'm stupid. A triple axel plie, fucking, I don't know. But yeah, so her talent like is so generational that it's like people are just like, damn, she killed that. But as far as emotionally investing in Bianca Belair, I think that's the only thing that's lacking. Like there's not a lot of character development. Like, who is Bianca Belair?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas if in comparison to Sasha Banks, you could describe Sasha Banks to somebody
Right.
without saying anything about her physically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like Bianca Belair, her character is her physical ability.
Well, it's funny because it's like, if you look at their sort of mottos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Sasha versus Bianca, where it's like the boss and the EST.
Right.
Kind of the same vibe as like, I'm the shit. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But I feel like Sasha put it out there a little bit more.
Right.
She was like aggressive. She's like, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm going to beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
And Bianca's just like, I'm the best.
I'm the greatest.
I'm the best.
I'm the EST, like,
She feels
I'm the
like,
nicest.
Yes.
I'm the kindest. I'm the fastest.
I have the whitest smile.
Yeah.
She feels like one of those old school toothpaste commercials where she smiles and then it's like, ding.
Yeah. She does look like she was like crafted, like somebody like
she's
created her in like a lab. Like, it's crazy.
ripped. Yeah.
She's awesome. So speaking of Sasha Banks and Bianca
Yes.
Belair, our throwback match of the
Throwback.
episode. We're gonna get music cues one day, but we're in episode one.
We'll add them in post.
Yeah, maybe. Can we afford that? Anyway, so yeah, we watch Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. Damn, what WrestleMania was that? It was a few WrestleManias ago.
It was
Let me see. It doesn't really matter, but
2021, I want to say.
probably.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's no reason to look it up. Honestly, it's like, but one of my favorite matches in recent memory, and yours too.
First time two black women
Two
were
black women
wrestling at WrestleMania.
in a main event.
In a main event.
Yes.
So dope.
Yes. It was crazy because there's like select moments that get me emotional when I watch wrestling, and seeing them like on the verge of tears
Right.
before the
It was so cool.
before the match even started was like crazy.
Yeah.
And the crowd was into it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the perception is that wrestling fans are all like middle America, like Trump supporting, like I don't know, no masks, like those type of people. But to see like an arena full of people like give these women like that sort of ovation at the start was super dope.
Right.
And and then they were going at it, and like just I watched it live. I think we watched it together.
We did.
But I didn't realize how seamless it was, and
Truly, like not a flaw.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no miscues or anything like that.
at all.
Yeah.
What was dope to see is that, and I was just, I don't know, do you say tweeted or threaded if you're on Threads?
I don't know.
Well, I tweeted some shit
X'd.
on Threads. I X'd some shit. But I was just saying how, like, for example, that Bayley versus Sasha match in 2015, like, back then, that shit was, like, mind-blowing to see. And it legendary match, right? And even before that, like when Emma and Paige fought it was a NXT event of some sort, and it was like one of the first times ever where like full on wrestling match. Like those two don't get enough credit, Paige and Emma, but that's a story for another day. But like seeing all these things in this Sasha and Bayley match, and then seeing how that's like the norm now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even Bayley versus Io Sky at WrestleMania, under fucking rated.
Right.
Like when Io Sky hit the kip up off the Bayley finisher, and the crowd was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, it's dope that it's come a long way, because I feel like you've shown me like older women's wrestling matches.
Yeah, and those were not as good.
Yeah.
But the excitement was still there. Like in the Attitude Era, like people would still get behind it, but just seeing how far it's come, and seeing like now that a match the caliber of Bayley versus Sasha is like now the standard.
It's not just like hair pulling and face slapping.
Right.
Anymore.
And yeah.
Which hot take, there could be some hair pulling in the men's wrestling.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I feel like they got the hair for it.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. Yeah. Some Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins.
Because I feel like what WWE needs and what they're doing with women's wrestling, I think, is catering more towards women, which is cool.
Yeah.
I think on average, like, there's probably more male fans than female fans, correct? But I think WWE and hopefully now Triple H at the helm of it, it's like they're getting a broader audience.
Definitely.
Which is smart.
And
it's smart mind.
Wrestling is unique in the sense that there was no like hesitation from the guy fans to embrace the women.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, like as soon as they started, and I'm talking like actual wrestling, not like the bra and panty stuff, because obviously that's lit too, but like those days are over.
Right.
Thankfully. I think it's much better now. But I do like that they still pay homage to those women back in the day, because they did pave the way.
Right.
And then now it's like they're equal footing. You know what I'm saying? They selling out merch, and like,
hell yeah.
You got guy fans who are like on the internet pissed that Becky Lynch beat Liv Morgan.
Right.
And that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Anyway, so Sasha Banks and Bianca, they have this like 5-star match.
Right. That ends, or near the end, with I think the first time that Bianca used her braid as a whip.
That was the first time I seen it.
Crazy.
Yeah. Forgive us if she did that in NXT, but it echoed in an outdoor arena, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
That was crazy.
It, like, I feel like we had to rewind it to be like, wait, was this sound that they added on through the speakers?
Did they add that in post? Yeah. And it, like, the mark that it left too. It was already formed by the time Sasha Banks got pinned.
Right. Which she did it at this WrestleMania too. Well, now she does it a lot, but like it was.
I think Asuka got it.
I think Asuka got it. Yeah.
Oof, poor Asuka.
Yeah, she'll be okay.
Yeah, but one of the greatest, one of my favorite matches ever. And shout out to Black women.
Yes.
What I do want to see, just going back a little bit to the Jade and Bianca Belair conversations, I do want to see Naomi somehow
and I love
in
Naomi.
the mix, because she has the skill set of Bianca Belair.
And I mean, the three of them came out at WrestleMania. But yeah, I'm glad that they brought her back. She also has like a dope character, I feel like, too. You know what I mean?
Well, how would you describe her character?
I would say that she's like, at least with like the neon and blacklight stuff, she's like, I'm confident and I'm fucking flashy and I'm gonna get in your face about it type of thing, which is really cool.
Do you think she would make a better bad guy?
I mean, my opinion is that almost everyone would make a better bad guy.
Yeah, bad guys are more fun.
I think heels are more interesting. They're more fun. Yeah. Like, they're a little bit cooler. They're a little bit, I don't know. They don't have to be like, especially like with the men and also with the women. It feels like the good guys are always like Captain America.
Right.
Like, I love my country type of thing. Where it's like, as a heel, you just get to be like unapologetically, I'm the best and fuck you.
Right.
Which is always more interesting, I feel like.
That's how it should be. I think that's coming back, but we'll see. Who's your... I know that we are not 100% current on the shows. It's impossible to be.
It is.
Because we have
jobs.
So much happening.
And a cat.
And we're adding another job onto that right now. But who is currently your favorite male superstar and female superstar?
Seth is my favorite.
Okay.
Though
MVP of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Turn up.
Absolutely.
Wrestled
oh my God.
Did you hear that?
He had 3 matches on night 2, right?
So no, he had 3 total.
3 total.
Wait. No, he had the tag team with The Rock and them.
Right.
Then he had the match with Drew.
Right.
And he came out in the main event.
Yes.
On 2 torn meniscuses.
That's insane.
Crazy.
That's insane.
That's why he couldn't get in the ring at the end. He was like fucked up.
Right.
On 0% health.
Hit me with this chair.
Yeah, for real, please. So, so who? You said Seth or somebody else?
No, Seth. Seth, and he just like exudes cool. He does something cool every single time. Like, okay, so having a brother who lives in Philly, his entrance with the Mummers, which is such a Philly thing. It's a very, if anybody studied theater in college, you will know that mummery is a very like ancient form of theatrics that uses like really intricate costumes and colors, and like it is like for him to find the one city that still does that type of like theater and live performance and be like, oh yeah, this is my shit, this is what I'm gonna bring out as my entrance is like very him. He feels, I think I was like, he's like the Elton John of WWE.
Okay.
Like, it's always crazy, it's always cool, and he's fucking funny, which I really like.
Right.
But CM Punk is, you know, with his comeback.
Yeah.
I like him too.
Well, you have a crush on him.
I do. He's very handsome man.
Well, what I'm hoping is that it's Seth Rollins versus CM Punk.
That would be dope.
But also what I'm kind of hoping is that it's Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns.
Okay.
But also I don't think we need to put the championship back on Roman Reigns.
Right.
But both of them need a year off anyway.
Right.
But,
everyone needs to heal their body.
Yeah.
Like,
but I'd be really interested to see that. But okay, so who female?
Female, who do I really like right now? I'll always love Becky. She's just so dope and very cool. And I love the fact that she like is a mom and had a kid and just like came back full force, because that's like, I think the one shitty thing about being a woman in wrestling, if you want to have a family, is it's like, it's hard. You're like on the road all the time.
Right.
And you have to stop immediately when you get pregnant, because it's not, I think ish, I know, but like, yeah, it's not something you can really do. You can't really get slammed to the floor. So it's, you kind of have to take probably like a full year and a half off.
Yeah. And
to like come back from that and just be better than ever is really dope. Obviously they're a couple and they're like WWE power couple, which is really cool.
Right.
But like I said, I'm very excited to see Jade like come up.
Yeah.
And Bianca, like athleticism wise is very cool. But again, I feel like her character could be a little bit more exciting, more interesting. So I'm going to go with Becky currently.
Becky and Seth.
Okay. I know. Power couple, right?
No,
but there's a reason they're together, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Well, those are my two all-time favorites.
Right.
My favorite.
I mean, Sasha was always my favorite, but she's not in WWE
That's true.
anymore. So
she'll be back. Maybe. Probably not.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's looking bleak.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. My favorite guy right now, Drew McIntyre.
Love Drew.
He is a comedic genius.
Yes.
Internet troll.
Love
Just thriving, doing some of his best work. He kind of fell victim when he won the championship in 2020. He kind of fell victim to that, like Captain America, like
a little bit.
I'm gonna fight and I'm in 300 and like all that stuff. It
also sucked because he won at a WrestleMania where nobody was at. It was like the digital screen WrestleMania.
Yeah, the Thunderdome. And then he won at WrestleMania, but then lost in 5 minutes. I was sad because Seth was crying,
really
and I was
sad.
like, man. And then
that was
they had
really sad.
The moment of respect, and like,
I know.
I love Drew McIntyre.
He's great.
And then Tiffany Stratton is well, I would say Bailey is my favorite.
Yeah.
And then Tiffany Stratton is the one I'm most excited to watch.
I'm very excited to see her come up.
Yeah. I think that Tiffany Stratton is going to probably take the championship from Bailey pretty soon, but also probably not because she's so new. They kind of have to give her some leeway.
I don't know. Sometimes, well, that's like the thing with Bianca, right? She shot up pretty quickly.
So quickly. Like, her rookie year, she was like main event, but
right, which is crazy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. And then our last segment, we just want to give a shout out to Samantha Irvin.
Amazing.
I don't even like Cody Rhodes like that. Like, I was like,
when she cried, you cried. She teared up, you teared up.
When I heard her voice cracking and they showed her like getting emotional, I have not been able to watch it and not get emotional. I've watched it like 10 times.
I know you have.
It's ridiculous. Amazing. Just
shout out to her. Shout out to her voice.
Crazy. I think she could sing too.
Yeah.
Drop the album, Sam. Yeah. What you doing?
Let's
you know
hear
what I'm saying?
Let's hear it. We always claim that we're like the poor man's Samantha and Ricochet.
Oh yeah, we are definitely Walmart Ricochet and Samantha Irvin. We're gonna be that for Halloween. I just gotta get abs.
Yeah, I gotta get my voice up.
Oh yeah,
gotta do a little.
You have a great
voice exercise. I can't do a full night of announcing like she does.
You gotta say everything like Samantha Irvin. Go to the club, you like, I can't even do it.
You don't do it. Gotta strain your vocal cords.
Can I get a tequila soda? Oh, damn, I almost threw up. All right.
Okay.
Well, I think that's good, right?
I think that's good. Yeah, we'll end here. Next week, have some more. We'll have another throwback match.
Yeah.
More shit will have happened that we can talk about.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening.
That was episode 1 of my girlfriend's favorite wrestling podcast. We have been your hosts,
Sam Cardona
and Tavaris Smith. You want to cut a promo before we get out of here?
Cut a promo? What? How? What? I don't know.
We'll work on that. I don't know. We'll work on that. But we'll see you next time. Thank you.